One of the things that I have been disappointed with Tua, and I've talked about it several times lately, the turnovers. And I wanted to look into this a little bit more because nobody really does this, right? Because it's just too easy and lazy to just say, well, he's got 10 interceptions. That's unacceptable. I know that. That's what I've been saying. That's fine. He's got 10 fumbles, 4 of them lost. Now, I want you to think about this now, okay? Tua has 10 fumbles, 4 of them lost. Did you know that he had 5 fumbles in the other 3 years? None lost. So already he's really incredibly careless with the football this year compared to the other 3 years. The other 3 years, a combined 5 fumbles, none lost. This year, 10 fumbles, 4 lost. He gets rid of the ball faster. So it's kind of a strange dynamic, right? He has 10 interceptions this year. You know that that's his career high. It ties 2021. And we've only played 11 games. We have 6 more to go. So are you concerned? I am too. Now, can I quell those concerns a little bit? Maybe something's going on with Tua because you're doing something a little different with him that he hasn't ever done. And it's what people haven't talked about. Do you know that through 11 games, Tua has 377 attempts? Well, last year he had 400. Now, he didn't play the whole year. Remember that. He missed some games. The year before, missed some games, he had 388. The year before that, he had 290. And he missed some games, right? He hasn't missed any games this year. So now he's making up for those missed games. He has 22 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 3,177 yards, and a 69.8 completion percentage. You want to know what Pat Mahomes' stats are? In 11 games, just like Tua, he has 2,917 yards to Tua's 3,177 yards. He has a 68.1 completion percentage to Tua's 69.8. He has 21 touchdowns to Tua's 22, and he has 9 interceptions to Tua's 10. Kind of same kind of numbers, right? He's got the elite tight end. Miami's got the elite receivers, right? Okay. Now, here's the thing. Last couple of years where he's played 17 games, not including this year, okay? The 2 years before that where he's played 17 games. 3 years ago, he missed some games. But last 2 years, he's played 17 games. He's had 648 and 658 attempts. What I'm trying to tell you is that Tua now is throwing more than he ever has. And by throwing more than he ever has, he's also going to what? Put the ball at risk more than he ever has. I.e., look at Mahomes. He's doing exactly the same thing. Their numbers are practically the same overall, right? And Mahomes is the best in the world. But yet he also makes his share of mistakes too. But he's also throwing the ball a lot more. So that's why when Tua, I tell you, he has an all-time high in interceptions, and he's already only in game 11, but he has 377 attempts. He has already surpassed the 2020 total of 290. He has, in 21, he had 388. So he, today, will pass the 21 totals of attempts. And then the 400, he'll probably pass that today also. So in game 12, he would have thrown more than he has in any of the 3 prior seasons, and that's because he hasn't finished those completed seasons. He hasn't completed those seasons. And this is why some of the turnovers are going up. it's kind of one of those things. If you want to throw the ball a lot more, to credit the man that used to say it all the time, Jimmy Johnson, when you throw the ball, 2 out of 3 things happen, and they're bad. Turnover or incomplete, right? And so you put yourself at risk a lot more than running the ball. And back then, that's how they used to justify running being this centerpiece of offenses, but that's not how it is nowadays. Now it's passing. So it's really one of those deals where I'm not condoning the turnovers. I'm just telling you why. So now Tua, has to kind of balance this whole thing of over a long season. Now that he's, hopefully playing a whole season, now you will throw more than ever. You will take more chances than ever. You also have a coach that is going to allow you to take chances because he's also a pretty risky play caller too. On top, 3rd and 4th and 1, you're supposed to be running the ball. Those are attempts that you're taking out of Tua's hands that they won't be incompletions or turnovers or whatever, because it's kind of been a disaster, right? It hasn't been positive for the passing game. That doesn't help Tua. Those are bad calls on the coaches, not Tua. You understand? And so there's a dynamic in there. One, he's throwing a lot more than he ever has. It's his first time in the league throwing that much, right? So by doing that, you're going to put yourself more at risk. And this is the beauty of, the Tom Brady's of the world and the Drew Breeses and the Peyton Mannings and those kind of guys that as the years went on, their numbers, they threw a lot, but they learned how to be more and more efficient overall. And that's not going to happen to Tua overnight because he's going to need several of these seasons where he's throwing 600-700 times and kind of go through it. Okay. Now, I would say this. The fumbles are the one thing that I am really concerned about with Tua. He has to do a better job of taking care of the football. I don't know what they're doing in practice to help him out in that area if they're constantly, going after him and trying to knock the ball down or something. I don't know, but I hope they're working on that because that's the one area that you're not really putting the ball at risk there. This is you not paying attention to you holding the ball when you're in some kind of traffic. So that's the one area. So for people that are trying to freak you out on the interceptions, now you know why it's happening. And you have a point of reference to kind of compare it to when you can compare it to the best quarterback, in the NFL, who's also going through it. And with Mahomes, I think he would even be a little bit more efficient too if he probably had a better receiver there next to his tight end. You know what I mean? So he has to take a little more chances. And that's why his turnovers are a little higher than you probably would like. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of it's an experience type thing that Tua is going through because he's never done anything like this. For one, he's never played a full season. He's never thrown 600-700 footballs in an entire season. All of this is kind of new. And this is the things that he's going to have to adjust to. The good thing is he adjusted physically to his body because obviously it's stronger than it's ever been. So there's no wear and tear going on here. It's more about the idea of the workload. The offensive workload that he has now is bigger than it's ever been. And that's why you're getting these kind of results. But eventually, what we'd like to see is in the next 2-3 years, as he continues to throw 600-700 times in a season, those turnover numbers start to go down a little bit more. The efficiency numbers go up a little bit. Happens in basketball as players get older, they turn over the ball less. They're more efficient with the basketball. All those kind of things, and it's just a maturity process in it.
This is the Big O Show. the Big O Show.